Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. We are simulcasting, so we welcome those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Want to say hello to our friends joining us on Instagram as well. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon so I can introduce you guys to our next guest and her newest book that I promise you will have you talking and guessing to the very end. And we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. Going to type you guys in a welcome message there. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You'll see it here in this corner or down below to stay connected with our programming here 6 days a week here on Amazon. You also will see our guest's latest book. We're excited to welcome Leigh Dunlap to our broadcast today. Her new book, you guys will see there, is called Bless Your Heart. We're going to talk to Leigh not only about the writing of the book and constructing these characters, but what's been like for her now to be able to share them with all of us. At the end of the segment, we also will let you guys know how to stay connected with Leigh, and maybe you can get a signed copy of the book. Leigh, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This is wonderful.
Well, look, I appreciate the time, and I really appreciate this book, Leigh. I think this book is so timely in that it gives people the escape we all need, I think, from the world right now. But you give
Good.
us these characters that we kind of become invested in, too. We're going to talk more about that. But for yourself personally, Leigh, what was it like for you to have lived with these characters and now to be able to share them with us?
So much fun. I mean, they took me places I didn't really expect they would go sometimes, and that was fun and surprising.
Mhm.
And I kind of miss them now, honestly.
Mm.
I'd like to get back in with them.
Yeah, yeah. It is one of those books, Leigh, that on the surface, and I'll talk around a lot of this so we don't spoil anything. But on the surface, you give us these characters that seem so different than us, right? They live a life that seems so different. But then because of the way you wrote the book and kind of letting us navigate, especially the main characters, we're able to see, you know what? We have more in common with these people probably than they would like to think they have with us, but also that that anyone else would think. Was that part of the fun for you to have these characters that seemed so far off, but then to make them so relatable?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so easy to say pick out all the differences we have, but if
Yeah.
you really break it down, we're like 99% the same.
Hmm.
And we should talk more about how we're the same than how we're different.
Right.
But it's just human nature, I guess. And yeah, you look at someone, you think they have that perfect life. Look, they're beautiful, they're rich, they've got this big house. But I mean, we all know everybody deals with the same problems,
Right.
just on different levels. And maybe they can pay their bills, but maybe that brings up some other kind of problem. So we all have issues, and I just kind of wanted to have everybody sort of have to have a reckoning of their own prejudice about each other, and when none of us are perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And it kind of goes to what's at the center of this book. And again, it goes to the brilliance of the way you wrote this. So I was telling one of my friends earlier today, Leigh, that when you read this book, it's very obvious that you're involved in entertainment industry.
Yeah,
because
is that right?
because these characters, they just kind of seem like they go into one scene, and this next character's coming to the next scene. Did you visualize it as you were writing it that way?
Yeah, and I think so my background is a screenwriter, and it's just that's my first language.
Hmm.
So this was sort of like almost translating, and I'm still kind of trying to become fluent in the second language.
Yeah,
So just the structure just initially just becomes that.
yeah.
So I'm glad you thought it sort of read that way, because
Hmm.
is that is what I want. I want someone to sort of have that feeling that they're not watching something, but that flow of it.
Yeah, yeah. And you do kind of become invested in, okay, I wonder what this character is going to do, and then we're able to kind of go into and kind of experience what another character is doing. And we should say, at the heart of this whole thing, what you've been able to navigate to is these time jumps, because there is a
Mm.
murder that has taken place,
Yep.
and we're kind of able to time jump, before and then of course after that. Talk to us how this all began. I mean, again, I mentioned to you before we went live here, Leigh, when the book was first pitched to me, it was going to be a yes to interview you just because of Bless Your Heart, because I've heard that so much of my life here in Mississippi. But how did the idea for the book come to you?
I lived there in Atlanta, and I mean the one thing was I was at a little league baseball game at Chastain Park, which is in the book, and it's how the book opens. And this really happened, that these are 10 or 11-year-old boys, and a mother from another team screamed out at one of our boys and called him a very bad word.
Mm.
And I remember thinking, and not that I haven't heard that word before or probably said it myself, but that you would do it in front of everybody, that you would do it to a child, and that somebody needs to write about these people. And then I think, hey, wait, I'm a writer. I'll do it. It just kind of went from there.
Yeah. And again, we'll talk around, but one of the characters is kind of at the heart of it that becomes in many ways part of the conscience of this story is Shay Claypool.
Yeah.
And so talk to us about Shay. What was it like for you to have someone that was literally outside of this world come into this world and try to make sense of what's happened?
Yeah, and you nailed it. I needed someone from outside the world
Hmm.
because not everybody's going to know what Buckhead is, which is kind of the Beverly Hills of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I needed somebody to come in and in an organic way explain what all this is. And it obviously needed a detective because we're killing somebody.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to be female because I wanted her to deal with all of these other females and have
Mhm.
that sort of dynamic. And I get, of all the characters, Shay is the most like me, so it was good to explore her relationship with her son, which is sort of like my relationship with my son, and then really get her to think about what she's doing and how that affects her investigation and her feelings about these women. She's to me the most fun to write, and her scenes, her parts with my son, her son, not my son, are my favorite parts.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that again is what makes this book so much fun, Lee. And like I said, even as we're kind of going in and out, and we're getting to know the different characters, we're able to get to know, okay, what don't we like? It's almost, I found myself, if I'm being honest, saying, you know what, it has to be this person, that because I don't like them.
Right? Yeah.
you know, we
I hope they did it.
Right. Yeah. So that, and it's going to come out. And I found that, but that to me just goes to, and not just saying this because I'm talking with you, how well you were able to really let us get to know them. So talk to us about the time frame, because I actually don't know the answer to this question. How long was it before you kind of came up with the idea to actually finish the book?
Oh gosh. It was probably percolating for a while, and it wasn't until the pandemic, when I was forced into unemployment, that
Mm,
I started writing the book. And
okay.
then, you had this forced time out, so I was really able to concentrate on it. And honestly, I don't know if there wasn't a pandemic, if I would have finished the book. I
Wow.
may have given up on it. I don't know, but
Wow.
so for me, not anyone else in the world, maybe the pandemic was a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit of a process for sure.
That's amazing. And I think what you just said though, because I talked to a lot of authors, I think a lot of authors mirror those words. If it was
Mm,
not for that time,
really?
that
Okay.
yeah, that they would not have done a project, that they end up doing. They would not feel like, they had the time to do it, for one. But also, if someone would be there for it. Have you
Mm.
been pleasantly surprised by the response to Bless Your Heart?
I've been so happy. People really seem to be enjoying it, and um, it's funny, when I wrote it, I just wrote how I write, and some parts are funny, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize how much people think it's really funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of been an added surprise, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, people really seem to be enjoying it, and it's a great relief.
I love that, and I'm sure readers appreciate that. I want to say real quick for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. Excited to welcome author Leigh Dunlap to our broadcast today. She's celebrating her book you guys see here in front of me, Bless Your Heart. For those of you joining us on Amazon, you can be able to get the book in its various forms there, either in print or the Kindle edition. We're also going to let you guys know how to stay connected with Leigh. I want to give some shout outs here. Hello to you, Tall Production. Good to be able to see you over there on Instagram. Iris Bowling. Another great author, could be to see you over there on IG as well. Leon Pitts, a recording artist there in Florida. hello to you, as well as TC Stallings, hello to you over there on IG as well. I appreciate the hearts over there on YouTube. If you guys have any questions or comments for Leigh, make sure you guys put those in the chat. I want to go to for yourself about the writing process, Leigh, and again we'll talk broadly again for those who have not read the book yet. Did you go into the book kind of knowing how the story was going to end and what characters would be the ones that we did as readers become so invested in, or was it something that evolved as the story kind of connected itself?
Um, Both, I guess. I knew
Okay.
how it was going to end.
Oh, you did.
Who,
Okay.
I knew who done it.
Okay.
But there are definitely characters that came up and it twisted and turned on its own.
Mhm.
I did, and I can't say what it was. I did have to change a major element for the publishers.
Okay.
So that was a little bit of a challenge, but it worked out in the end.
Hmm.
And I adjusted. But yeah, it just kind of becomes its own weird thing, this living thing. And you make good decisions and they lead you to good places, and you make bad decisions and they lead you to bad places, and you redo
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
that was the journey.
Yeah. I have to say, and again, I can say this to you, not it giving any explanation.
Okay.
After I read the book, I could see a lot of different characters as the woman on the front with this smirk. I could see a lot of them with that
Yeah,
in one in particular, and I'll tell you after we wrap up the show. Um, but because I
I
think
think I know who
I
you
did
think,
not,
but
yeah, I did not see the ending coming.
good.
And that's why when I posted my video review on social, and our audience on Amazon will see it there on Leigh's Amazon page too. I mean, you almost give us what I consider a post-credit scene. That's what it's. Again, that's how I look at it. That you kind of deliver.
That's
Um,
funny you put it that way.
yeah, I mean, because I was like, oh wow, that's yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
Good.
So much. Beartooth, hello to you over there on YouTube. Beartooth, we're talking about Leigh's newest book. Leigh Dunlap, who's our guest, her new book is Bless Your Heart. It's a novel. And we're just talking with her about the book, what it's been like for her to see the response to it. You'll see the link actually, Beartooth, on YouTube. You'll find a link that you can read more about the book there as well, there on YouTube too. Talk to us about social media, Leigh, because I feel like I knew you already before we even talked today for the very
Huh.
first time, because of kind of just engaging with you on social. What has that world been like for you to navigate as you've been promoting the book?
Interesting. Doesn't come naturally to me at all. I like
Mm,
sort of the artistic part of it.
sure.
I love it when somebody reaches out. That's fun. I don't like sort of the sales aspect of it, and that's
I
what it
get that.
is though.
Yeah.
But you kind of just want to hang out with people and have
Mm,
real conversations or whatever. I feel
yeah.
like buy my book, and that just feels strange. But I wish I was a billionaire. I could just say, here's a book.
Yeah.
But hey, it's an interesting world, and I still don't think I have a grasp on it. I'll put
Mm.
it that way.
Well, you're doing quite well on it. Let me just say
Oh,
that. It's
thank you.
someone who lives on it 7 days a week
Yeah,
because
no,
of
you do,
this
and you
work. Yeah.
post all the time. I mean, you're really good.
Well, look,
So
it goes with the territory, Leigh. So,
yeah.
but hello to you, Chris. Good to be to see you over there on IG. Hello to you, Hope One. I love that name, Hope One. Good to be to see you over there on IG as well. But I will say this: I totally get that, and I hear that a lot, not only from authors but
Oh,
also
really?
from actors that I interview. That it almost feels like another job when it comes to social media,
It
and kind of
does.
spending that time. But what I will say, what I love about what you're doing on your page in particular on IG for our IG audience over there, make sure you guys check it out, is that you're able to kind of give us these snapshots of these experiences. Are you still having those wow moments at this point, Leigh? Now that you've gotten
Yeah.
to the point, the book is out, readers are getting it. Are you still having those wow moments for yourself?
Yeah, last night we did an event at the Gwinnett Public Library, and it was my first library event.
Hmm.
And it was interesting to see how that was different than like the Barnes and Noble event. And
Hmm.
it was really a different interaction with people, and that was fascinating to me. And I mean, it was so much fun to meet people. That's my favorite thing. That was just to go out and chat with somebody when you're signing their book and find out where they're from and
Hmm.
what their life is. That's fun. So yeah, that's a really cool moment. And I did a TV interview, my first ever,
Mhm.
and that was terrifying. And I haven't watched it, and I'll never watch it.
Oh
But
no.
I survived, and I didn't embarrass myself. But I just decided I'm just going to sit and talk with these people like I
Mhm.
would want to if we were just sitting at coffee, and that made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, but it'd be more fun to meet people without a camera. So, I love talking to you now. It'd be
Yeah.
fun if we were just sitting at a bookstore.
Yeah.
So,
I, I I totally get that. I totally get that. But it's interesting hearing you say that. One thing I do want to mention for our audience, and I appreciate you guys already showing the book some love over there on
mm,
Amazon. Again, on the Amazon side too, if you guys have any questions or comments for Leigh, make sure you guys put those in the chat for us. Atlanta was really a character in this book, Leigh. Is that something you think you want to continue to do? Do you think that's going to be a part of your signature, or do you look
mm.
forward to exploring other places as well in your books?
Yeah, I look forward to exploring other places.
Okay.
I feel like I kind of nailed Atlanta,
Okay.
at least that part of it. Not that I wouldn't want to continue with Shay. I'd love to take her someplace else,
Okay.
in Georgia.
Okay.
But I think I'm through with Atlanta.
Okay.
And it was fun. And yes, it is a character. And I didn't feel like I'd ever really read much that really got Atlanta, yeah, at least this part of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I feel like I succeeded there.
Yeah. I'm known for, my friends tell me, Leigh, I'm known for kind of making everything serious, and it's not on purpose. But what I will say for those who are into like reality television, if you want a book form of that, I think seriously, I think Bless Your Heart fits that, because find yourself rolling your eyes at some of these characters and thinking, how over the top, they are. But then again, like an onion, as you peel back those layers, Leigh, as you've been able to allow us to do, especially when everything kind of culminates, we're able to see, again, how flawed we all are, regardless of what may be in our bank account or what neighborhood
Yeah.
we live in. Was that part of the thing, even though it is entertainment? Was that one of the things that you wanted the reader to feel and relate to, like Shay did?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
It was really important to me, and I'm glad you kind of said that, or picked up on that. I didn't want it to be in your face,
Yeah.
but maybe you picked it up along the way, and you did, so that's good. But yeah, it was really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great thing. Well, you actually answered a question without me having to ask the question, but I guess I'll still ask the question for our audience that may be wondering about the question. So you mentioned about Shay again. You don't think any of the other characters you'll revisit?
Um, Not at the moment. I mean, Shay and Dove, her partner.
Okay.
I'd like
Okay.
to follow them.
Okay.
Excuse me.
All right.
Something in my throat. Follow them to Sea Island would be my next target, which
Got
is
you.
an island off the coast of Georgia.
Got it. Got it. Well, that gives us something to be able to look forward to. Again, everyone, Leigh Dunlap has been our guest. Her new book is Bless Your Heart. You can get it right now, of course, in its different forms in print. You can also get the Kindle edition right now. So make sure you'll take advantage of that. For those of you joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you'll find the Amazon link there to be able to get your own copy of the book. I do have a question. I'm sorry. Talk production. I just saw this. We have a question over on Instagram, Leigh. How long did it take you to finish your book?
I actually looked it up. I started in January in 2021,
Mhm.
and we sold it last year. And so I
Oh,
worked
wow.
right up until then. A lot of drafts, a lot of drafts.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's not like I was doing it 24 hours a day, but
Sure.
and I had other things to do along the way, but it was a
Mhm.
long process.
Got you. Got you. Well, the end result, everybody, I promise you, you will finish this book. You'll be feeling a lot of different things, I think. I can't tell you what those are, but what,
Mostly
but
okay.
you will feel satisfied. You'll feel satisfied. But I will say this, Leigh, I think and I tried to allude to this in my video review. Um, I think you will find yourself asking on several of the characters, what would I have done in this situation?
Hmm.
I think that is a question we will, and then I think that will kind of determine who you root for.
Okay,
In the book.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I'll say about that.
I know what I would have done, which is probably what happened. So
Okay, well, see, there you go. See, and that's
I don't know
what.
what that says about me, but
Well, look, hey, I look, yeah, my mind kind of perked when you mentioned about the connection you had with one of the characters. So, hey,
there you
but no, yes,
go.
everyone, you're going to enjoy this book. Again, Bless Your Heart is the book. Leigh, I really appreciate you stopping by. How can our
Thank
audience,
you.
yeah, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Instagram's my favorite.
Okay.
And I'm at Dunlap Writes on
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay.
And I have a website, which is Leigh Dunlap Writes dot, uh, .com,
There we
I
go.
believe. I think.
Hey, we'll be able to
What I
we'll
know.
be able to fix it in the credits if we need to. I do we do have another question on IG about your inspiration. I think they may have missed the first part. You want to share with them again what kind of inspired the book?
Yeah, someone being horrible at a little league game and calling one of the boys a terrible name, the boy was 10 or 11 years old,
Mhm.
and that was in Buckhead in Atlanta, and I was shocked and not surprised at the same time,
Mhm.
and decided I wanted to write about these women, which are called Buckhead Betties in Atlanta. They're
Mhm.
kind of like the Karens of Atlanta.
Yeah,
So that was the little thing that the spark that lit the fire.
got you. Well, I tell you, it's a great read. Leigh, excited about what's coming up next for you, and looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much for having me. This was just wonderful.
Well, I appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.